Hi everybody, I'm Sam and this is my sister's diary. Hello everybody and welcome back to my sister's diary. Thank you for listening to last week's episode. If you haven't yet, please go back and listen. And while you're at it, really quick, I usually save this till the end of the episode, but I'm going to tell you right now because I think a lot of people tune out as soon as they hear the episode is wrapping up. So I'm going to tell you right now, please go leave a 5-star rating and review. It's super easy. It takes like 2 seconds. You won't see a review pop up right away because it takes about 24 hours for it to pop up. But if you see that it said review is added, then you're good. Okay, let's just dive right in. I'm going to introduce today's topic and then I'm going to do some diary dump. I don't like that. If anyone has an idea of something else besides diary dump, maybe that is fine. I don't know. It just feels weird for me to be like, okay, here's my diary dump. So maybe I'll just say like, here's my diary. Let's read my diary. Let's read my diary. That sounds better. Okay, so we'll read my diary for a little bit. And I have a lot to say today, a lot of thoughts. And then we're going to go into some New Year thoughts, not like goals necessarily of mine, kind of just like things that I'm thinking about for this year and those kind of things. So let's get started first and foremost with my hair. So in last week's episode, so let me give you guys a little backstory here. When I was in high school, I used to dye my hair by myself all the time. Every once in a while, I'd go back to like the hair stylist and she would color my hair. But for the most part, like my friends, well, mostly just one of my friends, we would just dye our own hair. And so like a couple years after high school, maybe not really that long, probably only a year, maybe 2, I continued to dye my hair and I was dyeing it dark, like with box dye. And instead of just doing my roots, every time my roots would grow, I would dye the entire hair. Like I didn't know that you could just do the roots. Like I would just do my entire head of hair. And so I had a lot of box dye on there. And so it took me a long time to get back to blonde. And I would just kind of like blend my roots into blonde and just have like a lived in balayage look. And I did that for I always say fur instead of for, but I did that for a long time. Like literally when I got engaged, I had highlights, but then after that, I kind of went with like the balayage look and I had that until just now when I decided to do freaking cap highlights on my head. So I did that. Like I said last week, I'm not going to dive into that story. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, go give it a listen. I kind of tell you the story behind this, but what I left you with was that I had cap highlights. They didn't look great, but they didn't look terrible. And I just had like this weird spot in the front where I tried to do a money piece that was really warm and kind of orangey colored. And I hated it. And so I was like, I can just do a money piece by myself at my house. So I got some bleach. I did some little foils and whatever. And I think it would have looked really, really good, except for I forgot how much bleach swells. And so it bled through it bled out of the foils, if that makes sense. So it bled onto my hair that wasn't in the foils. So then I had like a bunch of cheater print marks and it looked absolutely horrendous in just like the very, very front. So like seriously, not even half an inch of hair. Well, actually, no, it was a lot more than that, but I was convincing myself it was only a little bit. So then I decided, let me just take this hair that's right in the front of my head and I'll just bleach all of that. And I don't know why I was like, yeah, that'll look good. But it didn't. It looked weird. I think when I was pregnant, my hair grew in darker. And for some reason, that hair is like super pigmented because even on the cap highlights, those pieces, like the time that I was pregnant, you could see my hair was darker and you could see those pieces that got highlighted. It didn't. Obviously, it's because it's darker. But even when we left the bleach on in that spot longer, it just was taking a lot longer to process because it was obviously darker and needed more time. So I kind of had those like weird splotchy parts. And I literally screamed out loud when I took the foils off and just like stared at myself in the mirror for a good long time and was like, what the hell have you done? That was literally what was going through my mind. I was like, what is wrong with you? Why did you do this? And so I really felt like I had no choice except for to just dye my hair all brown. And any stylists who are listening to this are probably screaming at the top of their lungs, like, Sam, you're a freaking idiot. I know I should have just gone to someone and been like, please help me. But I was a little embarrassed. Okay. A little embarrassed that I'd done this to myself. I'm almost freaking 30. I shouldn't be messing around with doing my hair at home. And I went to Sally's. Okay. So I did the foils for the money piece, took them off. They bled and were splotchy. So then I still had some bleach. So I tried to like just bleach the very front parts. They looked terrible. Turned out orange, yellow, brown, red, anything you could think of. It looked absolutely horrendous. And I didn't have anything. I didn't have the box dye. So I literally put a beanie on and went to Sally's. And I had been there the day before, and there's the same people working there. So they were probably like, yeah, we know what happened. We know there's a freaking mess under that beanie. But I went and got some hair dye. I hope it was one that wasn't too damaging. I got some brown, and I tried to match my roots as much as possible, which I think I did pretty good job, other than it pulled really, really red. And so my hair kind of looks red right now, but it's brown, red. I asked Hudson, he's my son, he's almost 7. I asked him what my hair looked like, and I was like, what color is my hair? And he's like, yeah, it's like an orange brown. And I was like, okay, not what I was going for at all, but I'll take it as long as it's not orange, So hopefully at some point I can find a stylist who can tone out the red of my hair, and slowly, I don't know, actually, because I've been thinking about going brown or darker for quite a while. So I'm actually kind of liking, at first when I looked in the mirror, I was absolutely shook because I was blonde, and then I went to dark. And so I looked in the mirror and I was like, this is terrible. But a couple of days have passed now, and I'm kind of starting to like it a little bit. The ends have kind of, when I washed it, it kind of washed out of the ends a little bit more, I'm guessing, because they were so like, I don't know if porous is the right word, but I just bleached it, and so like it didn't grab onto the color quite as well. But I kind of like it actually, because it's kind of more, instead of just being like all one color, kind of melts into like a lighter color. I may be just gaslighting myself completely and telling myself it looks good, but I think it looks okay. And I'm definitely going to give my hair a break, and I'm never, ever, ever, ever doing my hair at home again. I solemnly swear, I cross my heart, hope to die. And yeah. And I'll tell you guys, sometimes in life, you have these feelings, you do something and you wish you hadn't done it, and you have like this sick, dreadful feeling. And you're like, if I wake up tomorrow, like I just need to go to sleep and this was all a dream. If I wake up tomorrow, it didn't happen. That's what I was feeling like. I was like so in distress about this. I told Robbie, I was like, I had the worst day ever. I almost cried. I would have cried if I hadn't been on, if I wasn't on antidepressants, because they make me not feel. Anyway, and yeah, so that was my hair situation. Anyone who's thinking about dyeing their hair at home, don't do it. Just don't freaking do it. Okay. Just go to the salon, pay someone to do it. That's what their job is. They go to school for a long time. It's literally chemistry. They know what they're doing. Just trust them. Okay. Don't do it yourself. Okay. And then that same day, so the same day, I literally spent all day long doing this. Like I was mad at myself because I wasted an entire day from the time Robbie left to the time Robbie got home. I had just barely finished washing out the brown hair dye when Robbie got home. And when I went to get the brown hair dye from Sally's, I went and stopped and got a drink, and I got Ellie a root beer. What does she do? I hand it to her. She puts it in her little cup holder, and then she's trying to get it out and it won't come out. She's like, it's stuck. And I was like, well, stop. Because I was worried she's going to like pull up and flick the lid off. Yeah, that's exactly what she did. She pulled up, flicked the lid off. Root beer went everywhere in the whole car. I just had to like, hold my breath for a minute and just breathe. And we were almost home. She was screaming, oh, my root beer. And I was like, it's fine. So I got home, went and got a towel, cleaned up the root beer. Now I have a sticky mess in my car. I haven't even gone out and wiped out with Clorox wipes or anything yet. But yeah, that was a good day. Okay, let's move on from that. Since I've been talking about it, I don't even know how long, probably 10 minutes. I hope it's not been 10 minutes. Anyway, let's move on to a quote that I saw I'm calling it a quote. Okay. If I read it on the internet, it's a quote. Okay. Even if it's not by someone famous, I don't care. It's a quote. Someone said that they're a mom and they said, I look like I've spent a decade in a women's prison. That's exactly how I've been feeling. Like do you guys ever go through phases where you just like look in the mirror and you're like, I am ugly. Okay. And I don't want you guys like flooding my DMs or anything, being like, Sam, you're beautiful, just wear blah, blah. I know. Okay. I just feel ugly and gross lately. And it's just, I know it's just a phase. Okay. It's going to come. It's going to go. But lately I think I'm just, cause I just had a third baby. I just had a baby 6 months ago, but it's been a lot and it's my like time is really spread thin. And so I haven't had a lot of time to just, work on myself. I haven't had time to like whiten my teeth or get a spray tan or wash my face at night. I mean, I probably could do that, but I've just been lazy. And so I feel like I've been looking pretty ugly lately. And so when I read that, I was like, I resonated with this so much. I feel like I look like I've spent a decade in a women's prison. I'm not here to say that women in prison are ugly. That's not what I'm saying. You guys understand where I'm going. Okay. Anyway, so I don't really have anything else to say other than I thought that quote was funny. All right. Next thing. Let's talk about TikTok. By the time this episode comes out, we'll be about a week away from the TikTok ban. And I am very, very sad. And I'm not bringing politics into this at all. I'm just telling you my straight up thoughts and feelings about TikTok. During 2020, TikTok had been a thing. I don't know for how long, but I was like, you know what? I need some more joy in my life. And Instagram Reels just aren't cutting it. So I downloaded TikTok and I was feeling really bummed out. I was pregnant in 2020. And I think looking back, I didn't know at the time, but looking back, I think I had some like perinatal, something like that, depression while I was pregnant. And then that followed suit into some major depression postpartum. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm just going to tell you. When I was pregnant, I was feeling really down and in the dumps, stressed, whatever. I was isolated alone. So I downloaded TikTok and I spent like 3 hours just laughing my butt off. I found the funniest video. It gave me Vine vibes. You guys remember Vine? Yeah, it gave me Vine vibes. And I was like, this is the best app I've ever found in my whole life. Like it's so funny. And since then, I admittedly have probably spent too much time on TikTok, but like who hasn't? Okay. And I feel like I do a decent job at when I need, like when my kids are asking for me, I get off TikTok and I go help them. And I don't spend like my whole day just put them in front of the TV and me in front of TikTok. That's not what I'm doing. I just like, it genuinely brings me joy. And I find lots of good ideas, like lots of recipes. I do a lot of recipes from TikTok, lots of like home decor, connecting with my siblings through funny TikToks. That's like our number one thing that we do. And I'm actually really bummed. I'm bummed that this is happening. And I want to know, like, where are we going? Where are we going next? Because I will not. I won't. Don't make me do Instagram Reels. Don't make me do it because it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not as like authentic feeling. Like I feel like Instagram Reels are really curated and like a lot of lip syncing to songs or lip syncing to other sounds. And there's definitely that on TikTok, but there's a lot more just like videos that are just random. And maybe Reels will get that way once TikTok is gone. I don't know. I have maybe some hope, but I don't know. I kind of want Instagram to more stay. I don't even really like the Reels in the first place. That's like exclusively what I post if you follow my personal Instagram, but it's basically just pictures put into a reel so that I can like look back on them. But, I don't know. I think Instagram's more like sharing photos or moments in your life, and it just doesn't feel like TikTok. And so we need something that feels like TikTok. And everyone's like, well, go to Lemon8. No, that one freaking sucks. I went to it, I downloaded it, and it's like weird Pinterest. And you can't like scroll through videos. You have to you scroll through videos. There's videos there, but they're not playing. And so you have to like click on the video to play it. And then you have to go back to see the other video. It just doesn't work. It's not fun. And I don't know. I need like Vine or TikTok. Those are like the only options I will accept. All right. Next one. this one, sorry, I have 6-year-old boy humor, but I'm just going to tell you. When I'm in the doctor's office, my baby, he farts so much or poops, but it's mostly farts. And like whenever the doctor comes in, he talks, whatever, it's mostly the nurse brings us in, we do like the check-in, and then she leaves to go get the doctor. And when she leaves, my baby decides to rip like mega farts, and they freaking stink. And then by the time the doctor comes in, it stinks in the room. And so I'm like, do I tell him that my baby farted, or will that make it like too obvious? Like, will he think that I'm lying? Or do I just not say anything? And then I know in his head, he's like, yeah, someone definitely ripped butt in here. So I don't really know what to do in that scenario. I usually just don't say anything, but like, should I be like, sorry, my baby's poopy? Should I just say poopy? But then no, that won't work because little babies, they like check their bum and stuff, you know? So I don't know. I'll probably just continue to not say anything. Okay. Last one, I promise. And then we'll move on. Okay. So literally today, I went to In-N-Out and it did not slap as hard as it used to. I'm just going to say it. And the same thing happened when I went to Noodles & Company for my birthday. And that one I was freaking pissed about because Noodles & Company used to be my favorite. Like, I wouldn't go there very often, but like when I did, it was like a treat, you know? And they got rid of their tomato basil soup, which I like, why would they do that? And they gave us our food in like freaking microwave takeout containers. It felt like literally eating a TV dinner. Like it was not good, and I'm mad about it. And I think what happened, In-N-Out was fine. Like the burger was good. I just feel like it didn't taste as good for some reason. And that's probably just a me today problem, but it did have me thinking about how restaurants have changed when the pandemic hit, and they converted a lot of their stuff to online. And so they have like a huge part of their sales are online orders, and I don't know, I feel like they cheapened. Like a lot of restaurants cheapened or their quality went down when this happened. And I need to know if you guys agree. Definitely 100% Noodles & Company. Absolutely, that did happen. And I'm still mad about it. Like I will never get over it because I was really looking forward to that dinner and it just wasn't good. Maybe it was what I ordered, but it wasn't good. Okay, now that I've talked your ear off about stuff you probably don't care about, let's move on to some more stuff you don't care about. And let's talk about, hold on, I'm trying to find my notes. Oh, right here. Let's talk about the new year. So how's everyone's New Year's going? First of all, it's like the most awkward segue. Anyway, how's everyone's New Year's going? I had the script last episode, and this time I just have notes, and so I'm kind of winging it. So we'll see how this goes. And you can probably already tell that I'm winging it, but who cares? All right. So I'm just going to talk about some thoughts that I have. Like I said, not necessarily goals, just like some thoughts, kind of goals, kind of not. I don't really like to call them goals because then when I don't hit them, I feel like a major failure. So, and I think a lot of people have to feel that way. I've told you guys, I've been feeling like kind of in a funk lately, and I need to get back to who I am. I need to get back to feeling like myself. So that's one thing I want to do in 2025. Literally can't believe that's 2025. That sounds like we should be flying hovercraft cars and have glasses that have a dictionary built into them. You know what I'm talking about? It seems crazy. And anyway, so I want to get back to feeling like myself. And I know this is like a huge kind of ambiguous goal, but it's kind of just a feeling, like an overall feeling that I want to achieve this year, if that makes any sense. And so these next few things that I'm going to talk about are kind of, everything kind of relates to this. So not first, these are in no sort of order. They're just like what I wrote down in order. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like the first one is the number one priority and the last one's the least. No, that's not, these are just the order that which they popped into my head. So one thing I want to do, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but for those of you that don't, I take antidepressants and a couple other medications, and I'm not antidepressants at all. I literally, they saved my life, quite literally. I'm not joking and not being sarcastic about that at all. And I will stay on them for the rest of my life if I need to. But I do feel kind of like blah. Like I don't feel like I have a lot of emotions, if that makes sense. Like I just kind of like neutral. Like I said, it's like I can't cry and I can't be like super excited about things. So obviously I'm going to talk to my doctor about this. I'm not just going to like decide my own treatment plan. But I would like to kind of, because I'm on a really high dose of one of them and then like a medium high dose of the other one. I take 2. And then I also take a sleeping pill and a couple other pills. And so I'm wanting to like, I keep saying like a million times. I'm so sorry. It's really hard to edit those out because I say them as if they're attached to the last word I said. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm going to try and maybe get off some of my medication. Maybe not get off. Maybe just go down on some of it and kind of feel again. I feel like a zombie and I want to feel again. So, but I'm definitely not super attached to the idea of that. Like if I try it and it doesn't work and I start to feel worse, I'm totally open to going back to where I am right now. All right, next one is to clear up my freaking skin. I know there's people screaming who know me in general, and they're like, Sam, you have great skin. And I'm not saying that to be vain. It's just genetically, like I have good skin, but I've been not taking care of it, which is not cool because I feel like I've been really good in the past and I've always had pretty good skin, but it's been feeling like dry and crusty and wrinkly and oily. And it's honestly because I just haven't been washing my face, which I know is disgusting. But you get into these bad habits. Like some people don't brush their teeth every night. And sometimes I am that person, but not very often. And me, I don't wash my face every night. And I need to get back into doing that because not that I necessarily need my skin to be perfectly clear by any means, but I just want to feel good again. I want my skin to feel good and healthy and not dry all the time and not be super red or anything like that. So I'm gonna start taking better care of my skin, and not just the skin on my face. Okay, I'm not talking about just the skin on my face. I like never put on lotion ever. And so you can see like my legs are like alligator skin. And I just need to put some freaking lotion on. That's all. And I need to lotion my calluses because they catch on my sheets, which is disgusting. Actually, no, I wear socks to bed. So when I'm in my bed without socks, that's probably why I have to wear socks to bed. You guys are thinking I'm a serial killer. I know. I don't care. I don't care. I wear socks to bed. It feels good. I enjoy it. If you don't, that's cool. I don't care. Okay. Next one is I want to get some more time outside. So last summer, I spent the entire summer cooped up inside my house because I was pregnant as a freaking moose and it was hot outside. So I don't know what it is. Both times I was pregnant with a boy, I just like ballooned up, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I gained a lot of weight, and I'm not like, oh my gosh, I gained weight, is so bad and so unhealthy. No, that's just what happened, and I'm not mad about it. It was really hot outside, and when you're in a bigger body, it feels hotter. Maybe that's not true, but for me, not bigger body. Okay, let me rephrase this. When you're pregnant, it feels hotter outside. So I just stayed inside, and my poor kids, I did get out as much as I could, but I went into preterm labor very beginning of June. And then I didn't have my baby until like end of June. And then once I had my baby, I also stayed inside quite a lot. So I did have people helping me out. So my other kids got outside a lot, but I really didn't. And then it got cold. And of course, I'm not going to go outside when it's cold. I'd rather melt than freeze, truthfully. But yeah, just more time outside. I love summertime, springtime, feeling the sunshine on my face. I know it'll be good for me. I know it'll be good for my kids. And just getting outdoors. I want to go camping more. Are you guys campers? I feel like a lot of people in Utah are campers, but there's definitely people who aren't. I am a 100% a camper. Like I grew up camping. I still love camping. We have this little tiny vintage camp trailer that we kind of redid the inside of, and we didn't get to use it at all last year. And it doesn't really have room for all of us now, but we're going to make it work. Okay. We're going to make it work. for this year. So I'm really excited to do that. And I want to go on more hikes. I used to go hiking all the time. Like there's a lot of really cool hikes where I am. I probably need to get a hiking buddy because it's probably not very safe to go alone. Like in the past, I would go on some pretty long hikes alone and there's not cell phone service and some of them are kind of sketchy. So if you live by me and you want to go on hikes, just know I'm going to be huffing and puffing the whole time and I may not make it, but I would like to have a hiking buddy. That would be fun. Okay, next one. This one kind of goes in hand with being outside. I signed up for a half marathon. That's right, I did. And I am nowhere near in shape for that right now. I literally went to the gym the other day, ran on the treadmill for 40 seconds. And I was like, I got to stop. I did have a class that I was going to right after. So I didn't want to like push myself too hard and then not be able to do the workout class after. But yeah, I ran for a total of 40 seconds and then I walked at a brisk pace. Okay. I walked for the rest of my mileage that I wanted to get in that day. But yeah, I signed up for a half marathon and I'm doing it. Whether I walk or run, I'm doing it. Okay. This is the third time I've signed up for a half marathon and I just didn't do it the last 2 times. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And this time I'm doing it. Either walking or running, I'm doing it. And my mom signed up too. So now everybody knows, Mom, that you signed up and you have to do it too now. Okay. Next one. I used to love to run, guys. When I was pregnant with Ellie, my second baby, 6 weeks after she was born, I went on a 6-mile run. Literally the day I was 6 weeks postpartum, my doctor said, you're good to go. I went on a 6-mile run. 6 weeks postpartum. You could not catch me doing that now. Physically, I would be dead, first of all. My ghost would have to be running because I would have been dead at mile 1. But anyway, I enjoyed doing it. Like I didn't do it because I was hating my body. I really enjoyed doing it. Like it made me feel good, endorphins, all that stuff. So I want to get back into that. Okay, next one. Reading books on my Kindle. I used to have a Kindle when I was like in junior high. And I still have that Kindle, actually. I should get it out. But it was a Kindle Fire. I didn't love that the screen was basically like an iPad screen. So I got a Kindle Paperwhite. Is that right? Paperwhite? Yeah, I think so. For Christmas. And I've downloaded a couple books, but I need to download some more. And I think I've heard that you can connect it to, I have a Libby account, which is like where you can check out books online through your library. And I think I've heard that you can connect that to your Kindle somehow. So I'm going to try and figure that out. Next one. I only have 2 more. So then you guys can. Okay. Next one is save money. Okay. I know this is like very basic and everybody tries to save money over here, but let me tell you a little bit about myself. Whenever I feel like I have a little bit of extra money, I'm like, I can afford everything in the world. Like I can go on Amazon and I can buy whatever I want. No, that's not how it works. I have like extra $10 and I'm like, yeah, I can buy $100 worth of stuff and it's no big deal. No, that's not how it works. Like I need to save my money and not buy stuff just because. And I've been practicing this actually. Like sometimes I'll see things on Instagram or TikTok and people will be like, try this new product. Here's an example. I was on Instagram and I saw this person promoting, it was like a little wire stand thing that you put a garbage bag on to pick up your wrapping paper from Christmas. And I was like, that's an excellent idea. And then I thought about it and I was like, it's basically a trash can. It's a trash can without the can. So why don't you just take your trash out before Christmas morning and then use your garbage if you need something to hold your bag open? You know what I mean? So a lot of purchases, I've been sitting and thinking like, is this actually a genius idea and something that I need, or is it just a reinvention of something we already have? So that's what I'm going to try and do to save money. Okay, last one, and this one's really on theme because this is my sister's diary, and this whole episode is kind of my diary. But what I want to do is, my sister Kate gave me a journal. It's like a guided journal. It's actually like a mental health workbook, but still a journal to me. And I'm going to do it this year. I have never, ever, ever finished a journal before. But I do think just regular journaling is also a great idea. And I might start doing that. The thing is, like, I have a hard time with journaling every day because everyone's like, well, then you have all these memories to look back on. And I'm like, but if I wrote every single day, I would never read it. I would never, ever read that. And it would take my kids or my grandkids or whoever wants to read it down the road so long to flip through all of my rambling thoughts. So to me, like a photo journal makes more sense because I like to look at things. Maybe I'll start that. One thing I really need to do is I need to finish my second child's baby book and start on my third child's baby book. Because my first child, he has 2 books, one from 0 to 6 months and 6 to 12 months. And I don't think I even have enough pictures to do that with my other 2 kids, but I absolutely need to just get at least 1 book for them to have, because not cool of me to not have a book for my other kids. Okay, where was I going with this? Oh, journaling. I'm going to try and journal more this year. I feel like I've laid out a lot of ideas here and things that I'm going to do, and I will probably not do all of them 100%, but I'm going to try. And mostly the thing I'm going for is just having a good attitude about life and manifesting good things. I do feel like I'm kind of losing my train of thought right now, and I need to probably just end the podcast. Thank you guys for listening to my rambling thoughts. I hope you found something enjoyable about today's episode. Next week, I have my sisters coming on, and we're going to be talking about disgusting habits. So we had our Call Your Sisters podcast, and we had one prompt that we never did an episode for, and the prompt was, what was your disgusting habit? So I thought, what a better way to use this than to have my sisters come on and talk about disgusting things. So that's what we did. And it's really funny and good, and you guys should absolutely listen, and please share the thumbnail for this podcast, the thumbnail on Instagram that I share it to your stories. Sounds like a start of a rap. Share it to your stories. Tell your friends. Make sure you press subscribe or follow whatever platform you're listening to this on. That really helps it out. And make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review, please. I would love you so much for that. And if you don't follow our Instagram, my Instagram, it's My Sister's Diary Podcast. Just no spaces, no periods, anything. Just My Sister's Diary Podcast. So go give that a follow. And thank you guys. I love you. Go write in your diaries, and goodbye.